Hey guys, it's so good to have your company once again here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Hope you are well. It's been a while. Life's been busy, or should I say work's been busy. So this is the first opportunity I've managed to actually just sit down and do another tutorial video. Now, day off today, and I was just away to head to the gym. I am now filming this on Thursday the 9th of May, so I'm going to pop it out on the same day that I'm filming it, and we are 4:45 in the afternoon here in the UK. And I was away to go and head to the gym, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I will get this tutorial done, then I'll head to the gym, and then at least then while I'm in the gym and I am on the running machine anyway, I can get this uploaded, or I can get all the wording and all the blurb and that do. I use the running machine time to actually just do my social media and that sort of stuff. Although, actually, that's a lie. I use the running machine time to catch up with any TV I need to get caught up with. At the moment, on a Wednesday and a Thursday, it's Hell's Kitchen USA. That's when I catch up with that one. I think we're season 20 or 21. So I'm not sure how far you are stateside. I'm not sure what season you're on in America. But here in the UK on ITV2, we've just started to get season, I'm sure it's season 20 or 21, one or the other. Anyway, so enough about all of that. It is so nice to have your company once again. Now, if you haven't already, please do, of course, subscribe to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Just means then whenever I pop a tutorial up, then you will have it there waiting for you. If you hit the bell notification, it just means whenever I do upload anything, when it comes to a tutorial, then of course you'll get a notification saying Craiglairdcc Crafter's Companion has uploaded a new tutorial for you. And then after you've watched it, if you do like it, give me the thumbs up. That really is appreciated. Now, I know I say that every single time, but you know what? It really, really does make a difference. And you follow anyone across on their YouTube channels, they all say it as well. So I'm going to be no different. So this tutorial, what we're going to do is a demo that I've had left over, but don't worry, I'm not going to use the parts that I've already prepped. We are going to cut it and die cut it and shape it from scratch. Now, this is using our recently launched my special paper pads box number 2. We're also going to be using some elements from our layout collection. Now, I never got a chance to do it on Hobby Maker or on Crafters TV, so this is the one that we are going to be doing here. So we're going to be using the My Special Papers to create that rosette, use it for the background and a few of the components from the layout collection. From the layout collection, all that I'm going to need is my large and small circle dies, and I'm going to use one of the teeny tiny little sentiments that says happy birthday. The butterfly that I'm using is from our original Gemini mini elements die, and then the background paper, that is from our My Special Papers as well. So that's what we are going to be making when it comes to this tutorial. Let's go a little bit closer so that you can see here. I'm going to come back a little bit further back, and then there we go. So that's what we're going to do. So quite dimensional when it comes to the actual rosette, because it's about 1/2 inch in thickness. So you will need to do an envelope box, or of course I need to do an actual box for it. So that's what we are going to be doing, and it's going to be on a 6x6 card blank. Now, although I say we're doing it all from scratch, the only bit that I have done is the insert. We're going to use the card blank that I had within my prep pack, and it's already got the insert inside it. So that's the only bit that we're going to be doing. So what we can do is let's get started straight away, and let's bring in the My Special Papers. Absolutely beautiful My Special Papers, 240 single-sided sheets, 160 GSM, and you've got the most beautiful designs. Now, I'm not going to go through them all because we went through them all Crafters TV and Hobby Maker, and that's the one that I'm wanting that we can see here. So we're going to be using that one, and then for the actual rosette, you can really use whatever you want. It's entirely up to yourself. It's completely up to yourself, but I want to go for something with a little bit of brightness to it. So I've got all these leftover bits, so I'm not going to use. Now what we do need to make sure is the actual length of what we're going to be using is still 12 by 12. Oh, look at that. That's going to be nice and bright. Let's go for that. I'm going to go for that one there. Now we're going to need two strips that are 12" in length by 1.5 inches in width. So let's pop all of these bits back together and then we can crack on. So what we're going to do is, first things first, hot glue gun. Now we need, ideally you want a hot glue gun for a rosette. You can use your glue gel. The only thing with that is, let me make sure I'm pulling out the right plug here so we don't go in darkness. Oh, here we go. Bear with me. I've got that many plug sockets. It's ridiculous. Bear with. Here we go. We've got it in. Yes. So, or rosette, you can absolutely use a glue gel if you want to. It just means you have to put something heavy on it for a substantial amount of time for it to dry. So your hot glue gun is absolutely going to be the best. Now, of course, mine's a Sticks 2. If you've got our Crafter's Companion one or another brand, hot glue is hot glue. So that's what I'm using. In case you're wondering why is Craig's pinks, because it's Sticks 2s. Shock horror, go figure, I know. So bringing in our guillotine here, let's go in with our guillotine and let's go overhead. Now my card blank is 6 by 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our craft card. So we're going to use craft in white. So let's go in with our craft. Now I'm just checking. So it's at, yeah, it's 6 by 6. So I'm going to cut my craft card to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm going to cut my white cardstock to 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So we've got our matten layer. Excuse me, that's what I get for drinking Coca-Cola. And then our pattern paper, which I'm going for this really beautiful green kind of boardwalk paneling. We're going to cut to 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And what I want to do, and it's just me being pernickety. If I cut there, I'm going to be left with a panel line where my finger is, and then kind of like 1/4 inch of a panel line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it so it's roughly the same. So we've got the same width of panel at each side, which happens to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch off. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to take 1/4 inch off. So it's a little bit more symmetrical. Again, you don't have to do that, but for me, I do prefer to have it that little bit more symmetrical. And then we've got our white matten layer to go on to our card blank. So that's my bases for my card blank. So let's move all of that out of the way, and we're going to come along with our circle dies. Now when it comes to these ones here, let me just double check. Yep, so I need that one and that one. So when it comes to the largest set out of your layout collection, I'm not using the smallest one. I'm using the 2 middle straight edge, and then we're left over with the large straight edge and then the scallop. So I'm not using the smallest one, I'm using the 2 middle ones. And then you can of course cut the 2 that I've got. I'm going to cut 1 in white and then 1 in craft. And actually, let's do that. Let's gut our cardstock here. Make the most out of it. No one's going to know that we're missing a centre because we're going to have the depth and we're going to have the thickness from our rosette. So I am still going to slightly try and centralise it. So I'm just taking 6/2 masking tape or stencil tape, and we'll do the same within the white here. Now I'm going to use my MIDI. I'm going to use my Mojito MIDI. So this is the one that is an exclusive colour to Hobby Maker in the UK. If not, you can just use your normal white one or any of your Gemini machines or any of your die cutting machines. So let's take that off there, and then that's the circle that we want. And then let's take our craft, and then let's run that one through as well. So running that one through so that we can get the circle. What I'm going to do actually is let's keep that there because we've still got a little bit of die cutting to do. And then we're going to peel that off. Now, I really wanted to do this as your tutorial because when I was on Hobby Maker last Saturday with Rosie, I was only able to show you the Rosette because I ran out of time. And then on launch party on Tuesday with Lily, I didn't have time to do this demo, and I had it left over, so I thought I really want to do it. But I do prefer to do my tutorials here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel from start to end. So although I've got the prep pack with all the bits in it, we're doing it from scratch. What we're then going to do is we're going to then take the smallest circle dies that we've got within the layout collection, and these are all generic size circle nesting dies, so you don't have to use, of course, them from the layout collection. You can use whichever ones you've got. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the smallest one and then the second smallest one. So we're going to take a bit of craft card, and then we're going to take a bit of our white card. Let's just chop that off here. So these two, the smallest circle we're going to do white, and then the next size up of circle we're going to use craft. So we're going to run that one through like so. So we can do all the die cutting to start with. So we've got one circle, and then we've got two circles. So let's take that and let's move that out the way. And then while we are here, let's take that one. We can then, let's do our butterflies. So our butterfly fluttering by. Now this is an old die set, so I don't think, I'm pretty sure we don't have it in stock anymore. So I don't want the outer die, I only want the detailed butterfly die. And we're going to cut that into white cardstock. So layer up and then run through. Because there's a bit of detail in there and my folder's well loved, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and forward a couple of times, which is perfect. Bring in my pokey tool and let's pop all these little bits. So we're going to do a drop shadow with the white on the top and then the craft underneath. So because the craft's underneath, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the body of the butterfly and we're going to cut that into craft as well. So there's our butterfly. Let's pop all of that in the bin. Let's take all that out. Let's pop all of these out, like so. And then let's bring in our bit of craft. We're going to recut that again. But this time what we're also going to do is within that set, if you've got that set, you'll know you get the wee butterfly body with it. So we're going to tape that down and then we're going to run that one through. And again, because there's detail in it, certainly because the cardstock craft card is really quite fibrous, written back and forwards, and that is spot on. And I'm actually going to go back on what I said here a moment ago. We're not actually doing a drop shadow as such. It's going to be a little bit like a drop shadow, but not exact. So we've got our body, and then we've also got our butterfly. So let's take these little bitties out, like so, and then that's all our main bits, all of our main bits. So when I said that we're going to, in actual fact, I've put all that away and I've still got a couple of other bits that I want to die cut. I want to get them. I forgot to take them out from the layout collection. So let's get the layout collection. I've got it to the side of me here. So let's go in and dive in. That's what I want. I need to sort this because I just threw everything back in after my show on Hobby Maker and I've not had a chance to sort it yet. So I want the banner dies. I want them, and that is definitely all that I need. So we're going to take the smallest one and we're going to do that twice. So we're going to do it twice in craft and twice in white. So cut our card. This time, just because I've just moved it to the side, I'm just going to bring in my mini. Run that one through really, really quickly. So there is one, and then there is two. In actual fact, yeah, it is two that I need, two each. So there's that one. I'm going to run that one through. And then last but by no means least, we're going to do the same. So we're going to do that one again. Run that through. So we've got two craft and we've got two white. Then let's take our glue. So let's layer these. So let's not layer one. Let's stamp one first. So I'm going to go in with Happy Birthday. So I'm going to come along to where we've got this banner. You can just kind of make it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come as far to the left hand side as I possibly can. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in my stamping plate. I'm not using ours. I've got hunky dories here that I also have and use. I'm just going to go into the corner there, and then I'm going to come to the side here. So I want to purposely come towards that left hand side. I'm going to stick my head in the way. There we go. That's it. You didn't want to see my head in the way there. So that, although I've just gone and done it there, haven't I? Let me go back there because I just want to check. I just need to budge that up a bit. Right, I think we're good. Now I'm going to use just a rustic brown because we're using the craft, and although I'm not doing anything water based to it, I'm using my waterproof rustic brown. I know I've said it before, but I find our waterproof seems to give much more of a sharper, crisper impression. So I'm going to press that in so we've got our happy birthday. Just clean that off with my fingers. Of course, you can use our large stamping platform, only just grab what was nearest to me there. And then we're going to do a drop shadow. So we're going to do our drop shadow into here. Now, this is why, got ya. This is why I'd done the drop shadow first. So ignore, for a moment, let's ignore the fact that I've stamped my sentiment. So for my drop shadow here, what I'm going to do, you know how usually I'll come down to the bottom right hand corner. This time I'm going to go up to the top left hand corner. So I'm going to go top left hand corner. So we've got that shadow down the right hand side and along the bottom. So let's take our glue. So we're ignoring the fact that I've stamped at the moment. So I've not used this for a few days. So where is my... Here we go. A bit of wire to declog. So let's add our glue onto the back. And we're going to add that in. So once again, we're just ignoring the fact for the moment that I have stamped. Press that in. And then we've got our drop shadow. Let's bring in our guillotine. I'm going to trim just next to the Y. So I'm going to come into 1.5 inches. And then we're going to cut. So we've got, so our drop shadow is really just running along the top of the happy birthday. And we've got our banner tab. And then we're going to do the same for this one. And I'm doing exactly the same. I'm doing that, well, it's not really a drop shadow, it's a up shadow. Into here, and we're going to move that in. And we're going to press that in. And then I am going to trim that, but we're going to wait until we start to get our, actually we could do it just now. So that should, so if that's that, that's the leftover. That will then go along at the side just here. So yeah, that should be fine. I'm just going to trim like so. So we've got our main bits now. So let's layer these together. Drop my what have I dropped? I've dropped something down the side. I don't think it's important, so I'll get it later. So I'm going to use my tape as always my go-to. We're going to run around the edge. Now you might want to use our tape runner, your tacky glue, your all-purpose glue. That is entirely up to yourself. We're going to pop that. So I know I've said it, a number of times. Personally, I'm not a fan of finger lift tape. I like the edge-to-edge tape. And it's not something that we do. We do finger lift tape if it's in stock, but it's not something that I use. Hence why, where possible, I'll always tag Sticks 2's items in the description. And I'll do that for this. The items from Sticks 2 that I am using, I will pop into the description, as well as the items that I'm using from us at Crafter's Companion that are still in stock. So let's layer that. wonder, it's obviously caught the end of my Gemini because it's not 100% straight, and I thought I did cut that straight. So let's just flatten that out. And then let's layer that back up into position. I'm going to take our tape once again to say no one's going to know that that circle is missing, because we're going to have the circles on the top, plus we're going to have the rosette. So I'm going to take all these bits off. I must have, the tip of my poke tool is at a very slight angle. I must have dropped it and bent it ever so slightly. I have to see about bending it back. So we've got our insert in the middle of our 6x6 card, and we're going to set that into position. So press that, and then we're going to go in with our circle dies. Now for these, just because it's easier to get to the edge with my tacky glue, I'm going to use my glue, and then we're going to layer that one up. And I'm going to twist that around, try and get that a little bit more properly central. And that can go flat onto our card. I'm going to get that as central as I can. Just kind of eyeballing top and bottom, left and right. So let's press that down. And then let's add these bits while we're here. I'm going to come to the side, into there. Something I've started to do a lot more. Our Nicole Bretherick, she does a lot of our incredible finished samples. She does the finished samples for packaging. Bianca does it as well, but our Nicole does it, and she does this quite often, kind of little banner sections at the side of your card or your project, and it's really quite effective, and I've started doing it a wee bit more. So the largest one I've gone in flat, the smallest one that I've cut I've gone on foam pads, and then this one I'm also going to go on in foam pads. Let's take that off, and then that can go down into the corner there, like so. Now what we do need is just a scrap bit of cardstock for the rosette. It doesn't have to be a perfect die cut circle. A scrap bit is more than adequate, even just a small scrap bit of square. What we can do is let's layer these up. So I'm going to go onto the back of the body of the butterfly, and I'm going to stick that bang over the top. So this is where it's not going to be like exactly like a drop shadow. We're going straight over the top, but I'm only sticking the body so that I can lift the wings and lift the wings. And then what we can also do, tacky glue down the centre, and then we can bring in the body that we've cut within craft card. So I'm just going to hold that for a second. Let's move that into place. And then we've got our butterfly, like so. Cute. Really, really quite cute. So our rosette. So I've got a scrap bit of card, I've got the 2 circle die cuts, and then I've got my butterfly. So let's bring in our cardstock. Now remember, we need our cardstock, we need it at 12 inches, and we're going to cut it at 1.5 inches. So 12 by 1.5. And I'm not bothered about the flow of the design because it's going to be concertinaed. I'm not really actually going to see the flow of the design. But we've got our 2 strips there. And then we're going to need our scoreboard. Let's bring in our scoreboard. And then we're going to be scoring at every 1/2 inch increments. So every 1/2 inch increment. So let's get this relatively straight. Now I'm going to turn my chair so I can kind of keep the camera and the board at the same level. And I'm going to score at every 1/2 inch. Now it naturally will want to start to move and twist as we come further along. So just try and keep it relatively straight. We're just going every 1/2 inch all the way along, all the way till we get to the very end, and then we're going to do exactly the same with our next one. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for myself, and I'm actually going to go close to the measurements. So every 1/2 inch we're going to go, and usually when I score I do it lightly and a few times, whereas for this I'm just doing it, you know, lightly, but I am just doing it the once. I just really don't want my scoring tool to go through the pattern paper. So that's just right to the very end. And then it is the case of concertinaing them back and forwards. So what I'm going to do within this one here is I'm going to start with a mountain fold. So we're just going to start with a mountain, and then we're going to work our way all the way to the end. We're just following along the score lines till you get to the end, like so. Pitch that up, line that one up, and then let's press. So because I've done a mountain fold at the start, what I'm going to do within this one is I'm actually going to do a valley fold. So this one, the end piece is coming up and then down, and this time it's the end piece will be going down and up. So other than changing the direction, we're just going to do exactly the same. Concertina all the way along, and then press in. And then because that one's coming downwards and that one's going upwards, it means we can then interlock like so. And this is the point where I don't bother about the pattern running parallel and matching. I just want to overlock that one, and then let's press that in. So we're going to hold that just for a moment. Press, and then we're going to twist that around, and then we're going to do the same. So glue on the very end concertina tab, and then fold over like so, and then press. And then we've got our concertina circle all the way around. Let's push and push that, then when we can then fold that in and bump up, we've got our concertina rosette. So this is where we need that scrap bit of card. So we're going to pop our hot glue into the middle. This is why it doesn't need to be perfect card, because no one's going to see it. And then we're going to budge it up, and then we're going to kind of semi get that sorted, get that into place, kind of move around, and then we're going to hold. So if you use your glue gel, you're going to have to hold or put something heavy on it for a substantial amount of time for that to dry, which we don't want. So although your hot glue is not something I use a lot for rosettes, it's spot on. So we're going to hold that, and then that is it. That's it sorted. Then we're going to come along, and then let's put our smaller circle into that largest circle, like that one. And then let's bring our hot glue. I'm just going to put hot glue into the middle, and then we're going to press that into the middle. That's going to give us a nice neat. If you've got really small die cut circles, you can use small circles. It could be a gem or a pearl or something like that. But of course we are going to pop our butterfly over the top. So let's bring this one back in. I'm just going to add, now for this you could use your glue gel or your tacky glue. But by using the two medium circles, the smallest of the two is a perfect fit for that size of rosette that we are creating. Now I know at the moment for you on the screen that looks like we've got bigger white space than there, but we don't. It's just the way the angle is. We can press, and then let's take our tacky glue once again, and we're going to pop our butterfly right within the middle. Let's just budge that down ever so slightly. We're going to hold and we're going to press. And then once that's grabbed, we can then lift the wings up, like so. And then there we go. We have got our 6x6 framed. We've got our 6x6 matte and layer card where we've created a rosette. So two strips that are 12" by 1.5, and then we've scored them at 1/2 inch all the way along, joined them together. The paper for the rosette is from your My Special paper pads, as are that wooden panel backdrop, white card, craft card, and then the butterfly is from the original Gemini mini set, and then the banner die and the sentiment stamps and the circle dies are from our layout collection. We've popped a blank insert in for whoever I decide to give that to. So let's go a little bit closer up. You can see here. Let's layer that in. You've got your concertina, and the butterfly of course will fold flat or sit flat, but you've got the depth from that rosette. And of course you can create rosettes and use them on their own. Good for birthdays, good for parties, good for celebrations. Do a cluster of them, have a play with the size. You can do thinner ones as well. So if you cut that down to like 1 inch or so, then you're going to be smaller. You're going to be able to make a compact smaller one, of course. So have that play. Trial and error when it comes to your rosettes there. What you do need to watch though is it can't be too long, because you need to take into account that surface right within the centre there. If you've got, well, not too long, sorry, any thicker. So for me, something like that, if your strips are 12" in length, obviously that's then double that. That's going to be 24 by the time you stick two of them together. If you have it any thicker than the the 1.5 inch, as you start to form them together, it's going to be too tight within the middle. So if you want to make them bigger, or yeah, if you want to then make them bigger, longer, you'll just need to trim them and make them thinner. So maybe like 1.25 inch or 1 inch. But once you've had a play about with the sizes of the rosettes, you'll start to see what I mean by the thicker they are, the tighter it is within the middle. So trial and error. But if you go with that one, 12 inch by 1.5 inch, do 2 strips together, concertina at 1/2 inch, and then create your rosette that way. So once again, actually let's go from up above, just so you can see it here. And using from my special papers number 2, the box number 2. There we go. Hope you liked that one. As I said before, right at the very start, if you do like that one, enjoyed the video, it's always nice to give that a little bit of a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And then until the next time, which hopefully it won't be too long until I do another one of these ones, I will see you later on. Thanks again. Bye.